Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Universe Mode on the JPG channel. We're here on Friday night Smackdown, and once again, it looks like the Ring General pulling double duty back-to-back weeks. Starting the show is the World Heavyweight Champion. And we saw how well that went out for Gunther last week. I mean, he was in a grueling match with Grayson Waller last week, of all people. I mean, Grayson Waller really showed some grit last week against the Ring General. But also during that match, we saw a member of the House of Black, or we heard, for that matter, we heard Malakai Black's music during the middle of that match at a point where Gunther was in full control. We haven't heard any word from the House of Black about it since, but there's definitely a ominous for certain. As look at this tonight, Grayson Waller's place has been taken by Cruz del Toro tonight, stepping up to the Ring General. Trying to get LWO back on the winning side of the bracket on Friday Night Smackdown after a number of losses to the Almighty Prophets. Just last week, Rey Mysterio lost to Bobby Lashley in a competitive match. We could turn around for the LWO here tonight if somehow, some way, Cruz del Toro is able to do what seems to be the impossible and pin Gunther. Let's look at this. He's going to have to duck and dodge to Gunther, but Gunther comes in with those chops already. But look at this. Cruz del Toro lighting Gunther up. Del Toro lighting Gunther up, but he gets dropped with a big boot to the face. And another one, sending Cruz del Toro right down to the mat. Now kick to the shin. Look at the strength of the Ring General, sending Cruz del Toro halfway across the ring. Halfway across the ring with that German suplex. No member of LWO out here tonight. I'm told Cruz del Toro told them, hey, I know the opportunity here to put LWO on the map and put them in the spotlight. I want to do it all on my own, and LWO, they respected his wishes there. Let's look at this. Oh my goodness, Cruz del Toro sending Gunther packing now. Oh, but once again he gets dropped. Coming out of nowhere with that springing handspring Hurricanrana. And now Gunther's dropping the knees and raining feet down on Del Toro. Now what the hell has Gunther got planned here? But wait a minute, Del Toro fights out of whatever Gunther was planning. Look at this, a huge moonsault. Huge moonsault takes Gunther out, and now a chop. I don't think you want to chop the big Austrian, but whatever gets the job done here. And Del Toro might be in trouble, but no. Del Toro gets out of it. No, look at this, a nice jumping neck breaker from Del Toro, going for a cover here on Gunther. Oh, no, not even a one count. Not even a one count. Gunther has a ton of fight left in here. But wait a minute. Oh, my goodness gracious. A huge spin kick. Huge spin kick from Del Toro. That might get him a one count. Yes, got him a one count at least. Got him a one count on Gunther. And now chopping the big Austrian once again. Chopping the knees now this time. That's where you want to go. Those exposed knees. Gunther does not wrestle with any padding or protection. Minus boots. Time and time again, we see his opponents try to exploit that. Brings me back to Bryan Danielson when he was taking on Gunther. He tried to exploit Gunther's limbs just as Danielson always has. And now look at this. Del Toro. A huge uppercut to Gunther. I think he might have rocked Gunther there. And look at this. Del Toro sending Gunther to the outside. What the hell's Del Toro got planned here? Oh, no. He gets stopped dead in his tracks. Dead in his tracks from the ring general. And now the World Heavyweight Champion on the top rope. A huge, oh my God. That is a scary sight. That's a scary sight right there. And that's an even more scary sight. A sleeper hold. Sleeper hold applied on Del Toro. Sleeper hold applied on Del Toro. And it might be just a matter of time. Del Toro has to tap out right here from Gunther. Dominating fashion once again for the ring general. Wait a minute, what the hell? That's Malakai Black. That's definitely Malakai Black this time, and he's sending a message. Sending a message not only to Del Toro, but apparently to Gunther as well. Malakai Black has finally shown his face this week and laid out the World Heavyweight Champion, Gunther. How many people can say that? How many people on SmackDown roster can say they've laid out Gunther? Well, here's one man that can say that he took Gunther to his absolute limits last week. The arrogant Aussie, Grayson Waller, is taking on the megastar LA Knight after a few weeks ago. Waller, in theory, were embarrassed at the hands of LA Knight and Seth freaking Rollins. You know, Grayson Waller wants to take his issues up with the megastar in singles competition here tonight. But man, I cannot believe that. I mean, we saw last week, we heard Malakai Black's music being played during Gunther's match, but we never saw him physically. This week we saw him physically, and he got physical with Gunther. He dropped him right on his ass, did he? That's exactly what LA Knight's planning on doing to Grayson Waller here tonight. As we mentioned before, there's history between Grayson Waller and LA Knight, dates back to their NXT days. So two men definitely with a score to settle between one another. It's surely to be an incredible match between two incredible athletes as Theory walks Waller down here tonight, rocking those matching A-Town Down Under t-shirts you can find on WWEshop.com. Getting ready for a huge match is Grayson Waller, and ladies and gentlemen, a huge match is what our main event is going to be after weeks and weeks of Sarraya, or let alone Sarraya, probably Toni Storm more than anything, getting the better of Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair. Tonight they team up against Sarraya and Toni Storm in the main event. Huge tag team match still to come, folks. As LA Knight and Grayson Waller meet in the middle of the ring with Grayson Waller throwing some wild strikes. You know he has an amateur boxing background. He loves to exploit that at points. Dropping LA Knight on his crown of his head with that DDT, and then Grayson Waller's coming into this match with a huge chip on his shoulder. After that, like I said, incredible performance, really. Last week against Gunther. And now look at this, a huge elbow drop to LA Knight. LA Knight trying to get back into this thing, but Grayson Waller's a house of fire right now. Like I said, he's got to have a ton of momentum heading into this match. Did not win against Gunther, but hell, there's not too many people on the SmackDown roster that can say that they got a 2.5 near fall count on the ring general. And look at this, Grayson Waller setting LA Knight up for something here, but Knight able to shift his weight, and now, oh my goodness, targeting that knee. Targeting the knee is LA Knight. Now Grayson Waller fighting out of LA Knight's attempt. Man, Grayson Waller's really starting to make a name for himself here on Friday Night SmackDown. And if you look at his NXT days, you knew that was all but confirmed to happen as soon as Grayson Waller planted his feet on the main roster, that he was going to make a name for himself. He is just an explosive personality, a very animated person, very expressive person, and, well, he loves to go viral, so, I mean, he's going to do anything and everything that he can to make himself go viral. And now look at this, stomping out the hand of LA Knight is Grayson Waller. Count of one, gets a 2 count already, and LA Knight pops the shoulder out. So look at that, a tremendous athletic ability from LA Knight to get up high for that drop kick, and now big back body drop on Grayson Waller. Now it's LA Knight back in the match. Look at this, sends him up for that elbow drop. That running elbow drop from LA Knight. We've seen him hit that time and time again, but Grayson Waller showing that boxing background again, ducking and dodging. He's looking like Floyd Mayweather in that ring right now as LA Knight once again slips out of harm's way, but Waller meets him with an elbow and another elbow to the spine this time. But no, now it's LA Knight meeting Waller with an elbow. Tit for tat, another jumping neck breaker from LA Knight. Another jumping neck breaker, one, gets a 1 count there. And once again, he sets him up for that neck breaker. LA Knight starting to rock and roll here tonight. Not trying to rhyme there, even though technically night and night would not rhyme, but whatever. LA Knight sending Grayson Waller over the top rope, making him think about it, as Austin Theory just gets to look on as his partner has to take on the megastar. A huge rising star on Friday Night Smackdown is LA Knight. Been involved in a number of high-profile matches last season in Universe mode, and you got to believe that championship glory is right around the corner for this man right here. Look at this. He goes to drop the knee, but Grayson Waller gets out. Grayson Waller gets out and runs a huge elbow to the back of LA Knight. And now, oh my goodness, driving some knees right into the midsection. Working over that core midsection. And oh my, look at this, a huge straight shot. Now, oh my goodness gracious, jumping unprettier from Grayson Waller, wasting little to no time on LA Knight. But LA Knight somehow able to escape whatever Waller was planning there. And now, wait a minute, LA Knight's got him up here. Look at this, hangman's neck breaker for LA Knight. Wait a minute. What's he got planned for Grayson Waller? Oh, no. He's going to spike him right on the crown of his head, right on that LED board. And LA Knight getting in the face of Austin Theory, letting him know whose game it is. But wait a minute, that gives Grayson Waller the opportunity that he needed. Sleeper hold. We saw him apply this to Gunther last week. And LA Knight looks like he's fading, man. Looks like LA Knight's fading. Count of 4 almost to the outside. LA Knight's trying to struggle to survive here. Grayson Waller is really becoming an innovative competitor since moving to Friday Night Smackdown. Almost taking something from his opponents and bringing it into his bag. Count of 8 this time. Both men get in the ring at the same time. And Grayson Waller met LA Knight sooner, though. And look at this, a huge power slam from LA Knight. Huge power slam lands, and Grayson Waller once again just buying his time at this point. But LA Knight in full control of the arrogant Aussie. And now, wait a minute, LA Knight, top rope. Don't see it every day, but you'll see it every now and then. Grayson Waller gets planted with a drop kick. LA Knight went for a knee drop. No water in the pool and gets the knee kicked out from underneath him. And now Grayson Waller setting LA Knight up, perhaps for that. And I thought he was going for that roll through stunner we've seen him hit. The Grayson Waller effect on full display on Friday nights as of late. And look at this, LA Knight once again hangs him out to dry with that neck breaker. And now it's LA Knight top rope. This time Grayson Waller stays down. He gets dropped with a big elbow this time. Big elbow from LA Knight. 1, 2. No, Grayson Waller gets the shoulder out. Like I said, you have to credit Grayson Waller's fortitude and his will to survive as of late. You can talk about him being a loudmouth all you want, but he definitely backs it up when he has to as LA Knight drops a huge knee right to the face. And now look at this. LA Knight's got something planned for Grayson Waller. What the hell is this? Oh my goodness. Burning hammer to Grayson Waller. Burning hammer to Waller. Could this be it? 1, 2. No, Grayson Waller once again. Once again. Kicking out of LA Knight's offense. Went to go for a wild strike to Grayson Waller, but Grayson Waller got hit in the back of the head. And another drop kick from LA Knight. Believe me, Knight started to feel it, man. He's been involved in a number of big matches to know. Oh, look at that. He saw it. He saw it coming. Saw it coming. Saw that roll through stunner coming, and he was able to capitalize on it. I was going to say, LA Knight's been involved in a number of big matches to know when it's starting to pick up and when it's reached a second, third gear, as LA Knight gives Grayson Waller a huge shot to the mouth. That's something a lot of people would probably want to do. Is look at this LA Knight. The hell has he got planned for Grayson Waller? Oh my goodness gracious, we've seen LA Knight do that before too, but it never gets less impressive as a huge superplex lands. Huge superplex lands from the megastar. Could this be it? 1, 2. Grayson Waller's out. No, shoulder out the last second. Shoulder out at the last second. LA Knight cannot believe it. LA Knight's arguing with the ref. He thought that was 3. And now, wait a minute, grabs a hold of the leg, but wait a minute, no, Grayson Waller turns it around. Enziguri right to the temple of LA Knight. And now rolling elbow. Rolling elbow to LA Knight. I think that might have busted LA Knight open. We've seen a lot of blood on Monday. I guess we're going to see a little bit tonight too. As look at this, Grayson Waller grabs a hold of the arm. Huge arm bar locked in. Could have kept it locked in perhaps for a submission victory, but thinks better of it. Gets a 1 count for his troubles. And LA Knight just fighting blindly at this point. Because look at this, Grayson Waller taking advantage of perhaps that vision being impaired because of the blood on LA Knight's eye. But look at this, that roll through stunner hits this time. Could this be it? No, LA Knight escapes. LA Knight escapes. Look at this, grabs a hold of Waller. 1. Only a 1 count. But look at it, BFT. The BFT lands. BFT out of nowhere. No, but there's a rope break. Rope break saves Grayson Waller right here. But LA Knight says, fool me once. But wait a minute, now it's Grayson Waller. With the roll-up. Count of 2. No, LA Knight escapes. Tremendous work from these two right now, folks. I gotta give it up to them. And now look at this, a huge spine buster from Grayson Waller. LA Knight rolling to the outside, but Grayson Waller's there to meet him. And LA Knight could be in a world of trouble now. Look at this. Oh no, Grayson Waller overshot it. And LA Knight is gonna take advantage of that 9 times out of 10 every day of the week. And now what the hell, LA Knight obviously setting him up for another BFT. A second BFT lands, and Grayson Waller could be out here. Count of 2, 3. That mistake, he might have slipped. I don't know if it was a mistake. Grayson Waller might have slipped, but that mistake costed Grayson Waller the match. If you ask me, it could have went either way. Grayson Waller once again putting together a tremendous performance. against another high-profile athlete, high-profile superstar here on Friday nights in LA night. But at the end of the day, it was Knight's game once again, and it's been Knight's game for quite some time now. As you gotta believe that LA Knight is venturing for gold real soon in the future, and could be as soon as the Royal Rumble. I mean, LA Knight will be in the Royal Rumble. Should he win, he will find himself with the biggest opportunity for championship gold in the main event of WrestleMania. Or could he possibly look to settle some unfinished business with the Intercontinental Champion Adam Cole, who I'm being told will be returning next week on Friday Night Smackdown. And you talk about unfinished business, that's what this main event is all about. Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks against Toni Storm and Sarraya. Somebody finally told Sarraya that she has to wrestle. No ifs, ands, or doubts, or what's about it, anything. It's Sarraya, it's Toni Storm on one side, and it's Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks on the other. When it comes to the women's division, these are probably the four of the top premier female competitors, not only on Friday Night Smackdown, but in all of WWE. Multiple world championships spread out across all four women. Man, I mean, you would think with the pedigree that Toni Storm has put together for herself as of late, you would think that she would be on the verge of a title shot opportunity. The only problem is she would have to betray her friend Sarraya to get that, because Sarraya is the champion right now. So for Toni Storm to get a win, or not a win, for Toni Storm to get an opportunity at the title, being that she is a SmackDown competitor, she would have to go for that very championship right there, the Women's World Champion, Sarraya. And if you ask me, I don't think Sarraya stands much of a chance against the dominating Toni Storm, and I think she knows that in the back of her head. And that is exactly why Sarraya is glad to be on Toni's good side, at least for now. Sarraya has been champion for quite some time now. She cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase on Bianca Belair the following week after the Night of Champions, when Belair finally dethroned Charlotte Flair. And Belair never got her rise to glory, her shining moment with that championship. She had that championship in her hands for a cup of coffee before Sarraya was able to cash in and strip that championship away from Belair. The Queen comes down to the ring. You know she's can't be in a good mood. She wants to get her hands on either one of these women. More specifically, Toni Storm, because Toni Storm has a W over the Queen. And if there's one thing that Charlotte Flair hates, it's losing. But at the same time, Sasha Banks has gone down. Has gone down 2-0, or 0-2 to Toni Storm as well. So last week, Sasha Banks had the biggest opportunity against Toni Storm, whereas if she were to put Storm away, she would have received a world championship opportunity at the Rumble. But instead, we're here tonight, where she's teaming up with one of her most bitter rivalries and old best friends, Charlotte Flair. As here comes the boss down to the ring, getting ready for tonight's main event. Explosive episode of Smackdown so far. Malakai Black attacking the world champion Gunther. LA Knight and Grayson Waller putting on a stellar performance between each other. Whether there's some disdain between one another or not, they definitely just went out there and left it all in the ring for sure. And now Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair looking to do the exact same in the main event here tonight and looking to finally derail this momentum that Toni Storm has for herself as of late. Look at this. Charlotte Flair locks up with Toni Storm. You know Charlotte Flair probably told Banks she wants to start this match. She wants her pound of flesh of Toni Storm. Throwing a huge elbow to the face. And now look at this. Charlotte Flair coming in hot in the early goings of this match. But Toni Storm caught her. She caught the queen, but no. Charlotte fights out of it. And now look at this. Charlotte Flair once again setting that neck breaker up for Toni Storm. And now Flair sending Toni Storm in the corner. Huge knee strike. Oh, but Toni Storm leveling Charlotte Flair with a fisherman suplex. And now Banks finally gets her face-to-face with Sarraya after all these weeks of having to go through obstacles just to get to Sarraya. Look at this, backstabber to the champ. And now Sasha Banks lighting Sarraya up with knee strikes to the chest. Now sending Sarraya to the outside. Banks talking a little bit of trash, and now Sarraya, look at this. Sarraya is finally trying to fight the queen and gets the better of Sarraya that time. And Sasha Banks sunset flip powerbomb to Toni Storm on the outside. And look at this. Kawada kicks and now driving that face into the middle of the ring. And now Banks, full head of steam, that Meteora lands. Meteora lands on Sarraya. We know Sarraya almost had a career-ending injury towards her neck. But now Sarraya fighting back, the champ. Ripcord knee strike from Sarraya to Sasha Banks. And now here comes Toni Storm back in the ring. Huge lariat to Sasha Banks. Huge lariat. Going for a suplex. But wait, no, Sasha Banks able to escape. Able to escape, and now a backstabber for Toni Storm this time. Driving some knees right into the back. And now Banks this time on Toni Storm with those Kawada kicks. And now sending two knees right to the face. Those knees are just relentless from Sasha Banks. And once again, heading in for a Meteora to Toni Storm. Now Banks is feeling herself, man. She wants that opportunity against Sarraya, but Sarraya kicks her leg off that second rope. Driving some elbows right into the forehead. Toni Storm hasn't gotten back on the apron just yet. Sarraya with a huge belly-to-belly suplex. Look at this, might take Sasha right now. One for a page turner, I believe, but Banks was able to escape. Kawada kicks to Sarraya again. And now it's the Queen and the Boss working together. Not something you see every day. Now chopping Sarraya is Charlotte Flair. Look at this, Sasha Banks has Sarraya planted with that gory special neck breaker. 1, 2. Oh, almost got a 2 count on the champ. Man, Toni Storm has not gotten back on that apron for her corner. Gotta wonder if Toni Storm's almost tired of playing bodyguard for Sarraya, and you know, she's starting to realize her own potential. Because Sarraya is taking a beat down here tonight from Banks and Charlotte Flair. Huge super kick lands. But look at Charlotte Flair. She's got a bone to pick with Toni Storm. She's got a bone to pick with Toni Storm, and yeah, she's definitely going to get her pound of flesh on Storm right now. Huge chop to Toni Storm, lighting Storm up. And look at this, Sasha Banks come flying in with a suicide dive, but Sarraya able to get out the way. And a huge sidewalk slam from the Queen on the outside to Sarraya. I mean, if you call this anything, this is just desserts for Sarraya, man. After all these weeks of getting the better of Banks and Charlotte Flair, making them jump through hoops just to try and find an opportunity against the women's champion. And now Toni Storm finally back on the apron, finally starting to show a little bit of interest in this match as Sasha Banks gets out of harm's way. Look at this, tilt-a-whirl backbreaker to Toni Storm. Could this be it? Could this be it? 1, 2, no, almost. Kind of 2 that time. Wait a minute, Toni Storm powering Sasha Banks up now. Delayed vertical suplex coming in. Oh my goodness gracious. And now, wait a minute, no, she got Sasha Banks up for that pile driver. Charlotte Flair breaking it up though. Banks could be in trouble here. Look at this. It's that twisting DDT we saw last week. The twisting DDT that put Banks away. It took 3 of them, though. But Charlotte Flair was there for the save, and now like, oh my, I thought she was gonna send Toni Storm on the outside. And now it's Storm on the second rope, a huge drop kick to Banks. Now kick to the back. Adding insult to injury, and now that Banks is down, Sarraya wants back in this match. Storm obliges. And Banks is in a world of trouble right now at the hands of Sarraya and Toni Storm. Huge elbow shot to the face. But look at this, Banks gets Charlotte back in the match. And now it's Charlotte Flair lighting Sarraya up with chops. Sarraya drop toe hold on Flair though. Grabs a hold of the arm. Driving that shoulder into the apron. This time she gets the page turner, but this time it's on the Queen, Charlotte Flair. Could this be it? 1, 2, no, Flair gets out. Flair's still in the fight. And now, wait a minute, Sarraya top rope. Top rope for Sarraya. No, huge hurricanrana. Huge hurricanrana on Charlotte Flair. And now Charlotte Flair taking on both members of Sarraya's team here tonight. And now, wait a minute, what the hell has Charlotte Flair got planned for Toni Storm? Huge crossbody on the outside. Huge crossbody lands. And now Sasha Banks taking care of Sarraya. Look at this, Charlotte Flair looking to get a pinfall over Toni Storm. No, Storm gets out of the arm's way. Or gets out of the pinfall. And Banks, I think she just landed a Meteora right on Sarraya. This match really starting to spill out. Just 4 women that have an absolute disdain for one another. Look at this, Charlotte Flair. I didn't even realize in the middle of the ring, a figure 8 locked in on Toni Storm. Toni Storm's gonna have to battle out of here. She's a long way away from the ropes. But Storm somehow able to power out. Charlotte Flair gets a shot to the forehead for her troubles. Huge drop kick from Toni Storm. Now look at this, power on display from Toni Storm. Deadlift German suplex. Now grabs a hold of the knee. That might be it right there. Count of 2. No, Charlotte Flair gets the shoulder out. Toni Storm, frustration starting to settle in. And now Flair grabbing a head scissors on Sarraya. But Toni Storm refusing to help Sarraya. Instead, she goes after Sasha Banks. Very interesting developments in this match. It almost feels like Toni Storm has just like let Sarraya do everything on her own in this match. As Sarraya just planted Charlotte Flair in the middle of the ring with the Rampage. Charlotte Flair, wait a minute, grabbing a hold of the legs. 1, 2, no, I thought that might have been it. But look at this, Charlotte Flair just threw a wild strike at Sarraya, but didn't get all of it. Look at this. Takes Charlotte Flair over with a knee strike. And now Flair on the outside. Sarraya, top rope. Taking out Banks. She doesn't see Charlotte Flair coming in behind her. And now, wait a minute, Flair setting Sarraya up for that twisting moonsault to the outside. A few knee strikes from Sarraya to the Queen. Oh, this time she got all of that elbow right to the jaw. Elbow right to the jaw of Sarraya. This time now Banks back in the ring. Oh my goodness, a huge knee strike. Didn't get all of it, got enough of it. And now, wait a minute, Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks. Oh, a huge smack to the face. These women throwing some ugly strikes here tonight. Looking to take some mascara off for sure. And now Banks sending Sarraya to the outside. What does Banks have planned here? Oh my goodness, over the top rope tope on Hilo from the boss. A tope on Hilo, and wait a minute. Grabs a hold of Toni Storm, but Storm was able to fight out of it. And Sasha Banks is taking care of business here tonight on Toni Storm. The agenda has been clear. I mean, it's almost like Sarraya's is a second thought, even though she's the women's champion. Toni Storm is the person that has been beating these women. And now Flair, once again, looking to get involved. This match is spilling out, folks. This match is spilling out for sure. Charlotte Flair landed a wild elbow strike. Banks back in the ring. Sarraya was chasing Flair to the outside. Wait a minute. Has Sasha up for something here? No. But wait a minute. Grabs a hold of Sarraya. Gets her for a roll-up. 1, 2. No, Sarraya fights out. Now driving some knees right to the midsection of Banks. Look at this. Oh my goodness, a huge elbow strike. Huge elbow strike. And now what the hell Sasha Banks got planned? Got planned for Sarraya. The Money Maker. The Money Maker lands. The Money Maker lands, but Toni Storm able to break it out. But wait a minute, Bank statement locked in. The Bank statement locked in on Sarraya. Toni Storm doesn't realize it, but wait a minute, Sarraya able to reposition in her body. No, sir, Banks gets out of it. Oh no, wait a minute. Take over DDT. And now Sarraya looking to get Toni Storm back in the ring, of course. Can't ever fight her battles alone. Wait a minute, Sasha Banks, small package on Sarraya, small package, 1, 2, 3. She just pinned the world champion. She just pinned the women's world champion to close Friday Night Smackdown, and Toni Storm didn't have anything to do with it. Toni Storm was beaten up on the outside. She caught a mean jab to the face, and that's all she wrote for Toni Storm. But the story here is that Sarraya is completely beatable without Toni Storm shadowing her, without Toni Storm watching her back, without Toni Storm there to help her. Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair were there to prove that Sarraya, her whole run has been a fluke. And that might be a matter of time before one of these women is holding the championship up high, and perhaps a little bit, hopefully with a little bit more pride than Sarraya has been. But ladies and gentlemen, for an amazing another episode of Friday Night Smackdown. Once again, thank you for tuning in, and as always, I will see you guys on the next one.